myself, Sai Manognya, working as assistant professor in CSE department from Mlritm. So today we are going to discuss about Python programming. So everyone know that Python is a popular language. Why? Because when we are talking about artificial intelligence and machine learning, these artificial intelligence and machine learning can developed by using a programming language called Python. So now I'm going to discuss about who introduced a Python, why introduce a Python, and why we are using a Python language even though we are having more languages. So and then what are the data types in Python language. So now first thing, the things we are going to discuss today are first one, introduction to Python, why Python, how we are going to install a Python program in our personal PCs like a laptops or PCs whatever, and how we are going to write a Python programming language, and how we are going to declare the variables classes in a Python, and next where we are using this Python programming. So coming to our topic Python programming, so why we are using a Python, what is the purpose of Python, why the most of people are talking about a Python. So today why we are using a Python? The most thing why we are using a Python is it is a very simple syntax and it is a very easy to learn. So when we are talking about a students like a students, when we are talking about a students, so students always prefers that which should be easy to learn. So that's why now here we are talking about a Python language. So who is the inventor of Python or who is the father of Python? So Python, see here, the first thing, who is the inventor of Python? So inventor of Python is Guido van Rossum. He is a Dutch programmer. He is from Netherlands, and this Python was introduced in the year 1989. And coming to this, the first versions of a Python. So first version is released in 1991. So why the person Rossum introduced a language Python? What is the main motive for him for introducing this Python language? Actually, he is working in Microsoft. He is from Microsoft company working in a project called Distributed Operating System. And this distributed operating system was implemented by using a programming language called ABC. So this Python came from that programming language ABC. So we can simply say that this Python language is a successful version of a ABC programming language. And second thing, why the name Python? Why he introduced the name Python? Why? Because actually the author or the inventor, father, whatever, he is a favorite of a comedy show called Monty Python. He is a favorite for the show Monty Python. Monty Python Flying Circus. So from these Monty Python Flying Circus, he considered a name called Python. So this is what introduction we are talking history, and these are some of the versions we are already released in the Python. And what is the latest version? The latest version when we are talking about a Python programming is 3.13, which was released in 2024. And next thing, why Python? What is a Python? So why we are using a Python language and what is the purpose of a Python language? So this Python is a high level programming language. When we are talking about a programming languages, we are having three different types of programming languages. Those are, simply we can say that high level language, assembly level language, and machine level language. So high level language, assembly level language, and machine level language. So what is high level language and what is assembly level language and what is machine level language? So high level language indicates that converting a human readable code into a machine readable code. So see here, machine language indicates that simply we can represent only using a byte like bits like zeros and ones. So when coming to the assembly languages, we are using like some bits as well as we are using some text like move. We are using a text like move a comma b or some move a comma b and sum a comma b, means here we are representing that we are converting a b value to a. So this is what assembly level language. And finally high level language we are using. Why? Because which is a human readable language, easy to understand. For example, see here, this is a thing I am writing here, print hello world or print hi. What it represents, it easily say that we are going to print hello text or we are going to print hi text. Whoever the user, whatever the user, by using these syntax or by seeing these statement, he can simply say that we are going to print hi. So that's why we can consider this Python is a high level language. And one more advantage is this Python is a platform independent language. And what are the features why we are using this Python means, the main thing is this is a platform compatibility or platform independent, and next it is easy to learn and easy to use, and the next thing is open source programming language. And next, what are the main key features of Python and why we are using Python? See, these are the things where we are going to develop a Python program. Like we are going to develop this Python programming using web developments like data sciences, machine learning and gamings, whatever. So that's why these are the main features of a Python, why we are using this. And the next thing, why we are using these Python programming language nowadays apart Java and C++. Even though Java is the most efficient language and Python is also efficient language, then why we are using these Python language for implementing a concepts like machine learning and artificial intelligence. The thing is, the first thing is easy to learn, and the second thing is easy to execute, like a simple syntax or less number of instructions. Consider an example here. See, consider an example why we are using. The first thing is easy of learning, and second one is it is demand in industries, and third one is wide applications, and fourth one is great for the collaborations. These are the some uses why we are using Python. And second thing, see here, why we are considering a Python. Suppose first thing here, I am writing a program for executing a word killed hello world. Suppose this is how I am executing a word hello world by using a C language. So hash include stdio.h. And again I am writing main. In this main I am writing what printf statement, and here I am printing word hi, and I am closing the braces. So this is how many number of instructions we are considering for printing a word hi. So these are the set of instructions for printing a hi while using a C language. When coming to the Java, we are using some import, and we are going to use some class, and we are going to write public static void main, and after we are printing a word hello or hi. But when coming to the Python, simply we can write a Python program like this, print hi. So this is a simple thing for printing a word hi. Means we can say that the Python is automatically, or it is by default, it is having a huge libraries. So that's why we are using a programming language. Now we are using a programming called Python. And next, how we are going to set up this Python programming. So simply we can download by using a site called python.org. Simply we can install like latest versions we can install. Already we discussed that what is the latest version. The latest version is a 3.13, which can install from a site called python.org. And we are talking about IDE. So Python is having a default inbuilt IDE. Apart that inbuilt IDE, we can install the different IDEs, like we can install the PyCharm, or we can install the VS Code for executing a script mode for executing a program in a Python languages. This is about what is Python, who introduced a Python, and where we are using Python. Now we are going to a concept called how we are writing a code in Python. That is the first thing. So basic syntaxes and the data types now we are going to discuss. So first thing, syntax of a Python. Already I showed that how we are going to print a hello in a Python. So this is simply we are writing a code here, print hi or print hello. This is simple thing how we are going to write a Python program or Python code syntax. Then when we are talking about a concept indentation, so generally indentation, it represents a block of a code. Indentation represents block of code. What it means block of a code? See, when we are talking about a control statements or conditional statements, whatever, we are representing a curly braces for representing a particular block. So from here to here, we have to execute this if block. From here to here, we have to execute a else block. But when we are talking about a Python programming, there is a no concept of using curly braces. So that's why we are using a concept called indentation for representing a if or conditional statements or control statements, whatever. So what is this indentation represents generally? So indentation represents a single tab or space bar, 4 space bars for representing a indentation. For example, see, this is how I am writing if I am writing a sample program for indentation representing if. So if 8 is greater than 2, this is the syntax for representing a if. So I am printing, this represents what indentation, print true. Else, so here I have to represent these colons, and again I am printing what? Print false. So this is how I am writing a code in Python by using a concept called indentation. And next thing, what is data type? Why we are using a data type and how we are representing a data types. So in general, before talking about a data types, what is an identifier and how the identifier should be and what are the conditions for representing an identifier. Why? Because we can say that identifier, it should be the name of data type, or it should be a name of a class, or it should be a name of a function. Then how the name should be? So suppose I am declaring a one variable sum a equals to 10. So it will check whether these identifier, or we can consider this as a variable, and this variable is a valid or not. So what are the conditions we should follow for representing an identifier? The first thing, it should be the combination of alphabets and numerics. So it should be a combination of alphabets and the numerics. And second thing, it should not start with the digits. It should not start with the digits like this. Suppose I am writing this a b 1 equals to 0, and I am writing 1 hyphen bc equals to 10. Again I am writing underscore ab equals to some 10. So when I am considering these things, here we can say that what is valid identifier means what is valid variable or what is invalid variable. So when we are talking this represents a valid variable which consists of a combination of both alphabets and the numerics. But when coming to this represents what? One represents what digit. Make sure that the identifier should not starts with a 1. And later thing is, this is also valid identifier. Why? Because the identifier should starts with a special character underscore. But except in only underscore we are using, except underscore we cannot use these identify, we cannot use these identifiers like @ not equals to percentile and the dollar symbol. We have to use only underscore. So this is how we are representing an identifier, or how we are representing a variable. Now, what is a variable and what is a data type, we are going to discuss. So coming to the data type, variable is nothing but which is used to store some value. What is this value? So now previously I discussed about identifier. What is an identifier? How we are going to represent an identifier? So simply we can say that it should be the name of variable or the name of a function or a name of a module, but name of a module or class, whatever. But the thing is, what is a variable? Simply we can say that a variable which is used to store what? Data, or which is used to store the value. Now we are going to talk about these data and value. What is data? What is value? So data represents that what kind of data or what kind of information we are going to store in a variable for accessing a future purpose of a program, or for the purpose of a program. So simply we can say that the data should be, it should be a integer, the data should be a int, or it should be a float, or it should be a character, or it should be a string, whatever. These are the basic things already we know about programming languages like C. So already we know the data types like a float, int and the character. But now we are talking about a Python. What are the different data types we are having? What are the different data types we are having? How we are going to check whether the given value is a which data type or not. So before saying that what is a data type is a value which is used to store in a particular variable for accessing it for the purpose or a future purpose. So now we can say that how we are going to write data types variables in a Python. So simply we can say that how we are going to write. So in different languages like C or Java, we can simply initialize a variable like this, int a equals to 10. But when coming to Python, we can simply write a equals to 10. Automatically, interpreter can evaluate that whether the given value is a integer or not. So that's why we can say that Python is a dynamically type chain programming language. So now we can write that how we are going to give the variables, how we are checking whether the given variables are int, float, string or whatever. So these are the things I am going to discuss. What are the data types we are having? Those are numeric, string, list, tuple, set and the dictionary. Coming to the numeric. So numeric is a number. The number can be, it should be a float, a number can be a int or number can be here complex. Here we are using a three different data types like a int, float and the complex. Now how we are going to check the given data type or given value is in which data type? See, in a numeric we can say that a Python having three data types like a int, float and complex. So see, I am writing a value like this, a equals to 10. Now I have to check whether what is the data type of a value variable a. So simply we are using a function called type which is used to check the given variable is a which data type. Simply I can write type of a. So it represents like this, class int. So what it indicates that? So type indicates what is the value assigned to a particular variable j. So it can simply display what? Int. So we already assigned the value what? 10. 10 is an integer value. So it represents what? Class int. So when coming to the float, same it happens like a float also. Simply we can use a type function to check a type of a variable. So suppose I am writing here complex, suppose I am writing here complex. How I am going to check this complex? So what is a complex value? We can know that the complex value is the two parts, it consisting real part and the imaginary part. So j, the default value of j, we can say that the minus 1. Now suppose see here, I am representing that a equals to 3 plus 5j. So what is the type of a? The type of a represents what? Complex. Suppose I am giving a normal value like a equals to 3 comma 5, then how I am converting these normal values into a complex value? So this is how I am going to write a statement like a equals to complex of 4 comma 5. So when I am printing a value of a, so simply it can display like 4 plus 3j. So why? Because complex data type which is used to convert the given values into a complex values. And next thing we are going to discuss is string. What is meant by string in general? So everyone know that the string is a single character or set of characters. So here when I am talking about a string, so simply we can use a representation for string, we can use a single quotes or we can use a double quotes or we can use a triple quotes for representing a string. So we can see an example that how we are going to identify the given data type is a string or not. So simply I am writing b equals to Sai. So now I am going to check the type of C. So it represents that class str. So str is a data type which is used to represent a string. And here suppose I am having a value, I am having a string Sai. So suppose I want to retrieve a value by index, suppose C equals to, I am writing a word like hi friends. Now, I want to display the string. So, simply I can write a print of C. So, it display hi friends message. Suppose I want to retrieve a character by character, simple I can use a index. So, I can write like this C of, suppose C of print C of 0. So, what it prints? It prints H. Means here indexing is represents each and every character having its index. By using these index, I can retrieve the characters. Suppose I want to retrieve a data from here to here. So, from starting to ending, I want to represent the data. So, here we are using a concept called slicing. So, slicing represents how I am going to represent a slicing. See, print C of 0 colon some 3. So, from where to where I have to display the characters from the given string. So, simply 0 represents what? H, A, I, 0, 1, 2. So, 3, when we are talking about a starting and ending values, so we should consider always the end minus 1 value. So, it prints only the characters from 0, 1 and the 2. Suppose I can mention, simply I can mention only 0 without mentioning end value, simply it will display all the string from the given variable. And next, suppose I want to check, we want to check the length of a string, simply we can write that print length of C. So, C can store the where value hi friends, simply display the length of a value. This is about strings. And next, coming to the data types like a list. See, these list, tuple, range. So, these data types are comes under sequence. So, list, tuple and the range. So, when we are talking about a list and we are talking about a list, tuple and range. So, list and tuples are the data types which are used to store heterogeneous data types. So, what is heterogeneous data types? Means it can store similar data types or different data types. How we are going to store these data types in a list? Suppose see here, when I am considering a data type list, so list can be represented by a symbol is square braces. And one thing, what is the difference between the list data type and the tuple data type? So, list can be represented by square braces and tuple can be represented by parentheses. And a list and tuple, both the data types are accepting duplicate values. And the difference what is the main difference between the list and the tuple? The main thing is here, the list is, we can say that the list is a mutable and tuple is a immutable. What is meant by mutable and immutable? So, see here, suppose for example, I am writing a data type list L equals to 1 comma some high comma 10. This is how I am declaring a value. Sorry, I am assigning a values to the list. So, now I am going to print list L. So, simply it can print all the values from the list. Suppose I want to retrieve a particular value from an list, simply I can write like here also we are using a concept indexing. So, by using a indexing concept, we can simply retrieve the values like suppose this L of 0. What is L of 0? Suppose 10, it retrieve 10. And same, this is a list L equals to some 10, 20, 30, high. So, L of 0 represents what? 10. Suppose I can write like this 0 colon 2 means what it display? 0, 1 and 2. No, it will not display the value of 2. Why? Because, so already I discussed that when we are talking about a end value, always the end value should be end minus 1. So, it will simply display the values like 10 and 20. And suppose, what are the values I am having in a list? 10, 20, 30 and high. Suppose I want to add some more value in a list, simply I can write L dot append of some L dot append dot 10.35. So simply it can add the value to end of a list. But this thing is not possible in tuple. So once we create a tuple like this, suppose t equals to 10, 20, high. So in tuple it is not possible to add a new value. So that's why we can say that a list is a mutable and a tuple is a immutable. And how we are going, same concepts we can, like slicing is used for representing a starting and the ending values from a given list. So this is about a tuple and the list. And next thing we are going to discuss is a range. So range indicates that, generally range indicates from starting range to ending range, from where to where we have to display the values. So see here the range represents that when we are talking about a sequence, we are having one more data type is range. So these range represents, range is having a syntax like range of start, stop, step. So these start indicates start value, stop indicates end value, step indicates how many number of steps we should take from the given range. Suppose I am considering an example, see here, where x is equals to range of 1, 10, 2. So now I am writing a code like for I in x. So I am printing the value of I. So first I can simply write that when I am talking about a range, we are like simply we can write that start plus step into 0. See here, step into n. So see here, we are writing here first what I value. First starts with where? From start, suppose I am writing here 0. Starts with what? 0. I am taking what? 2. So 0 and 2 indicates 2. Again from 2 to 2 steps, 4. Again 6. Again 8. Means for printing even values by using a range, we can consider like this. Step indicates 2 indicates that we are considering a 2 step. Suppose I am writing from 0, right? 0 to 10. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, 9. So first thing is 0. 2 steps means I am considering 2, again 4, 6 and the 8. So I can display from 0 to 8. These are the values how I am going to represent. And next thing I am going to discuss about a set and dictionary. Both the set and dictionary are unordered data which can collection of unordered data. So why we are saying that both are unordered data. So suppose when we are writing a values in a set, so simply we can represent curly braces where set equals to some 4, 3, hello. So while displaying a value set, so we can say that the same order will display in an output. So that's why it may be display like this 3, 4, hello. Or it may display like this hello, 3, 4. So we cannot say that in which order the values in a given set is displayed. Both dictionary and set are unordered list. Why? Collection of data. Why? Because when we are displaying a values from the given set or given dictionary, those are not displaying how we are representing a variable. And next coming to the dictionary, so generally dictionary is used for mapping a data here. So how we are representing? So when we are talking about a dictionary, simply we are having a key and the value. So we can write a set of keys and a set of values. The value should be duplicate. It may or may not be duplicate, but make sure that always the key should not be a duplicate. So this is how I am representing a dictionary. See, suppose I am writing D is equal to 1 hello. Next 2 300 and 3 is 500. So these are what I am representing values in a dictionary. These 1, 2 and 3 are representing a keys, and these hello, 300 and 500 are represented values. So here suppose I am writing these. Suppose I am writing here. Again I am writing some 4 colon 600. Sorry. 3 colon 600. Simply these 500 can be replaced by 600. And we are displaying what? Simply we can display the values like a print of D. The values in a dictionary can display. But suppose I want to display only values or I want to display only keys, simply we can write that print of d dot key. So it display the keys. Simply I can write what? Print of d dot keys. So this is how I am writing print of key d. What is the variable I declare here? D, dictionary, d dot keys. D dot keys. So this represents to display keys from a given dictionary. Suppose I want to display only values, simply I can write d dot values function. So I can display the values from the given dictionary. So both set and dictionary are unordered collection of data, and here we are representing curly braces for representing both the set and the dictionary. When we are talking about a dictionary, simply dictionary is a combination of key and the value. So each and every value in dictionary is separated by colon. And next data type Boolean. So what is Boolean in general? So Boolean, when we are evaluating an expression using Boolean, simply it represents the values like 0 and 1. Simply it represents the values like 0 and 1. So simply I can write what? False and the true. So suppose I am writing a condition or I am writing a program like this, for example, where x equals to 8 greater than 2. So I am printing the value of x. So we can say that what 8 greater than, is it true here? What is the value of x? True. Then I need to check of a value of x, type of x. So simply I can write a function type of x. So it display output like this, class. It display the output like this, class bool. So bool represents what? A Boolean data type. It considering only two values, either 0 represents false and 1 represents true. So in which cases it is considering true and in which cases it is considering a false. So when suppose we are considering some examples like here, I am writing a value like x is equals to bool of ABC. So when I print the value of x, simply it print true. So when we are having any character in a given parenthesis, it should consider as a true except 0 and empty string. Empty string. See, suppose I am writing like this, x equals to bool of. So now I can print the value of x. So what is print? False. Now I can print the type of x. What it display? The type of x should be class bool. So this is how we are checking the given variable is a Boolean data type or given value is a Boolean value or not. So simply we can say that true or false, zeros and ones for representing a Boolean values. And here what is the type checking? So see here we are considering one example for type checking type function. So already I discussed it in a previous data types. So here I am mentioning a data type like I am mentioning a list fruits equals to apple, banana and cherry. Then what is the type of a fruit? So we can use by using this type we can identify that the given values are list. And where we are going to use this Python, so the applications where we are using Python are data analysis, visualization, web development, machine learning, artificial intelligence, automation and the scripting. And these are the things, these are the references we required for accessing a data from a Python. So these are about what is a Python and who introduced a Python language and what are the various data types in a Python program. Thank you.